So it is August 15th at 12:18, coming at you from Maui, and we are in the fifth line now of Gate 4 and Gate 49. So Gate 4, we've got Youthful Folly again. This is in the ajna, pointed up towards the head, and it's the energy to beguile and succeed despite ignorance, which is the freedom from retribution. In line 5, we have Seduction, which is allowing others to assume responsibility as a shield against potential punishment. Exaltation, unearned reward and recognition, the potential to succeed through the understanding of others. Detriment, a life of lip service to antiquated and unsatisfying values. Cynicism, the potential for cynicism that comes with always having to acknowledge the understanding of others. Oh boy, that's a what's up, guys? I'm gonna turn the video on since I'm home now. We're back, and for those of you tuning in, we're in the fifth line now, and this is seduction, which I personally do not have this gate active in my chart, and so it's interesting having certain gates active within the charts that are through the transits that I don't have, and then contrasting that with the gates and how that is. Violet, you have gate 4, so what line is it in, Violet? Curious to know, because we're in the fifth line of it, and just feeling how much more natural it is and how much easier it is for me to talk about transits that I actually have within my own chart. So you're 4.2, so that's acceptance. It's the potential to recognize that not everyone can understand, and the detriment of that is the potential to take advantage of the lack of understanding in others. Interesting. So with this energy that I'm not really able to access on my own, this fourth line, or this fourth gate, there's a tendency for me to like really want to understand this because I don't. You know what I mean? And for anyone that also has that feeling, let me know, because that's one of the feelings that I really hope that this community can support each other in revealing, like, hey, you don't have this gate, so the fact that this understanding of this doesn't come naturally to you is natural, right? It's not something to diagnose as a symptom and go in on yourself and investigate and look for, like, what is the root cause of this. And ultimately, this is kind of where we like yield the stage in a way to people that do have this gate active. And in watching that, in seeing that, that is kind of where the magic of having an open center comes alive, in my opinion, in being able to watch somebody with the gate show up in the exaltation and in the detriment. Because it's not just about like, oh yeah, let's all be our highest and best selves. It's like, hey, some of us have certain gates in detriment. 47.3 in detriment, which is, if you have 47 or 47.3 specifically, it's failing to recognize one's own value and worth, leading to self-doubt and failure, such as not applying for a job which one is qualified for due to self-doubt, or the fear that I can't break off and do my own thing because there's that self-doubt there. And that has pressurized me in such a way that now that I finally am ready to break off and do my own thing, which I have been in that, break off from my family, break off from the circle of friends that I had. It was always some kind of disaster that caused me to break off. Having a child, breaking away from the mainland, breaking away from what I was doing prior, which was mostly like Reiki and retreats. It brought me to human design. And so, again, there's a tendency to label things good and bad. And really, it's just a direction. Detriment would be like, driving you more into the human suffering, the human experience, the imperfection in the humanness. Exaltation would be elevating us out of the body and out of the human experience. And what we want, or what I hope to achieve within my own personal life, and maybe this is reflection for you as well if you're in here, is to just accept this form. And so even doing something that I've been doing recently in the past couple of days is looking at all of the detriments that I have. And you'll know that you have detriments based off of right here. This kind of might be a little hard to see, but there's the little arrows that are, yeah, that's so hard to see. But the little arrows, right? I'm trying to find. There's my 47.3 right there, which is actually in transit as well. Funny enough. But that little arrow is the detriment. And so if you have the Neutrino app, you can literally just click on that and it'll tell you exactly what this book would tell you. So, and the app is actually cheaper for a year than the book is. The book is like $50, I think. And this is a way for you to ultimately like have your own reader right here. And it's just funny that I'm promoting it because that's how I make my living, is people pay me for readings. But anyway, I'm digressing a little bit off the transits, and so I'll do my best to kind of like keep it back on or reel myself back in. But with that being said, this transit energy, the more attuned to the transits that we can be, the better we can show up as ourselves, as opposed to allowing Mr. Smith to just stick his hand in us and turn us into more copies of himself. We're able to resist the homogenizing effort and ultimately enforce the programming that at one point was the homogenizing effort, the homogenizing weather, the programming weather, the neutrinos that were shining on us, and the uniqueness. So in a way, we are all carrying this uniqueness of the planet, these pieces of the planet that should never be lost. And I use should because I'm learning more about guilt as my motivation. And I actually made a video a couple of the other days of like should as a quote unquote bad word, because it projects onto people, or it projects shame onto the self. And there's a difference between shame and guilt. Shame is I am wrong. Guilt is I did something wrong. And so for me to feel guilty is actually, it truly is, as it says in my human design, is very motivating. It drives me to seek out solutions. It drives me to seek out clarity. And so, with that being said, learn to accept the form, learn to accept, what vehicle we're in. That's what we're here for. And these transits help us do that by showing us sometimes what we're not. So let's move into gate 49, which is the gate of revolution and principles. Ideally, the transformation of forms based on the highest principles and not simply for power, which there's a lot of revolution in the air, especially on Maui, of like, who's going to step up, who's going to be the one to show the people that they got to take their life into their own hands. And part of our transit with this is, what we're looking at is this line 5 today is organization, practical provisions for the needs of others in revolutionary times, which ensures support and continued understanding. So it's a potential sensitivity to the practical needs of others. That's the exaltation. In the detriment, it is a concentration on the organization of power to clearly define authority, often at the expense of higher principles, which is a rejection of higher principles in seeking to organize others. So, holy crap, that I just had something land within me that is really powerful. I had a conversation last night with one of my brothers about organizing efforts to help Maui, and how I was inviting him not to sacrifice his higher standards and his higher principles in order to organize that, because then that organization is of inferior principles and therefore fucking suck ass situation. Like there's no sense really. It's a detriment, because it's like, if you're going to organize a revolution, you want whatever it is that's going to replace the old thing to be better, not to be of the same thing. It's like when people break up with someone and then they end up dating someone like 2 months later who's exactly the same person, but maybe they have a different skin tone, or they have a different religion, or maybe they're a different gender, or whatever the fuck it is. It's like there's so much to be said about how important the G center is within the human design system as a crystallization of essence and as an acceptance of the form. So powerful. So yeah, gate 49. We're gonna be in this next transit for just one more line. So we've got, let's see, it's gonna change. Tomorrow it's gonna change, and then it's going to completely shift transits on Thursday. So we're coming up on the next transit, guys. So if you haven't already voted, by the way, for who is gate 4 and who is gate 49 in the I'm gonna go ahead and pop it in here, which someone help me come up with a better name for this channel. The movie characters as gates channel, because it's totally not a great and it's not like celebrity gates or either. It's like, who is the best fit for the channel, who is the most appropriate character, that the best container or the best vessel for the energies that are present through these gates. Again, it's one of these thought exercises that initially I was like, this is just kind of for fun, but really, from what you've learned, gate archetypes, that's a good name. That's a cool name. Okay, I like that one. But from what we know about these transits, gate 4, formalization, youthful folly, gate 49, revolution. Like, I can actually go in there right now and talk about who we have. So change the name. Gate archetypes is cool. I like the idea of like having movies in there somewhere, because it's like archetypal characters, right? But we have, let's see, I think I threw Frodo in there. Oh no, it was Sherlock Holmes. So youthful folly, it's Sherlock Holmes, and then Da Vinci Code, which I forget this guy's name. Tom Hanks plays his character, and he's he's the formulator, right, of the figures out the whole story, is able to look into the future and anticipate, like, what is going to happen next. And so in a lot of ways, these archetypes probably will have both channels. And so I'm curious to see if we can find someone who is the like youthful folly that does have the 4 but doesn't have the 40, the 63. And then we have, let's see, in revolution and principles, gate 49 for our Earth transit. I started the vote off with the V from V for Vendetta, and then Prana put the Bride from Kill Bill, and then who put? I know Neo was in here. Tyler put Neo in there, and PD Pam put Avatar Aang in there, and then I put fucking Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan, which to me hits really hard because Eren Yeager is this like uncontrollable rage, and he kind of represents, to me, he represents the detriment of Gate 49, which is absolutely crush your enemy, absolutely destroy and erase the history of what has come before, in the name of protecting my people, right? To cause a revolution and to trample the earth in the name of revolution, in the name of revolution, of principles. So understanding that Gate 49 is also about principles and revolutions that have high principles. Because again, here in the fifth line today, potential sensitivity to the practical needs of others. And detriment is a rejection of higher principles in seeking to organize others. So these are great. Luffy from One Piece, Gate 49. I don't know Luffy that well from One Piece. Dexter from Dexter's Lab or Jimmy Neutron can fit. Those are great suggestions, Samurai. I love that. So go ahead and throw them into the channel there. Just make a comment on the forum post that I did there, and definitely like find a good gift that you feel like, or find a good picture that you feel like represents these characters, because what we're doing with human design in general is we are taking what has been abstract for so very long, and we're visualizing it, we're defining it, and, but so that people guys are feeling this trend, like so many more people are waking up nowadays. um, Human design is like a common language for all of us to speak, and so that we can uh, stand and everyone can relate to. So this is just exciting. And these transits again, uh, I want to invite those who have electromagnetics with these transits. So for instance, that would be like if you have gate 19 or you have gate 63, current transit would create a new channel for you. And one of the fucking insanely cool new features in Neutrino app, for those of you that have it, is the ability to look at a calendar. So there's a tab down here that says calendar. It's right there. I'm going to click and open it up. And it's going to show you all of the changes in terms of new circuitry that comes online for yourself. This is super helpful for reflectors, but also if your chart has a lot of openness, you can see like, okay, Tuesday, August 15th, which that's today, Mars is going into gate 6 in 44 minutes. Moon is going into gate 4 in 2 hours. Venus is going into gate 7 in 3 hours. That's going to activate my alpha channel. Right? So it's just, it gives us this how you say, more accurate prediction of the type of neutrinos, the type of light that's going to hit us. The transits are that's why we are the way that we are, because we were born during a transit, and that transit got logged. Rather than it's like, oh, you were born. It's like you were born at a time when this was going on. There was a revolution going on. The fires were burning the town. The kings were being fuckheads. The people were coming together. Like children that are being born right now in this time, they're going to be born with the collective energy of what's going on within the context, and so they're given context. And so to be able to record that, like imagine a year from now, or let's go like 10 years from now, imagine being able to look back. This is for myself, actually. I'm going to be able to look back and think about my daughter. My daughter right now is 9 months old, almost 10 months old, 9.5 months old. And I'm going to be able to look back at these videos and these audios and all this stuff. I'm going to be able to tell her about, oh, when you were learning to walk, Maui was on fire. When you were taking your first steps, people were organizing. This is the time that we stepped away from the mainland as a Hawaiian nation and a Hawaiian kingdom. The time that when you were learning to talk, maybe we're electing a king or a queen of Hawaii. You know, so it's just cool. It's just a new way to look at history through the context of an individual experience, as opposed to what the news wants to tell us or what the newspapers want to write down. Because that's one of the huge things that's different. Created. They didn't have social media back then. They sure as fuck didn't have Discord back in the 80s. And then where's my I Ching? Luke took it. I told him to take it. Imagine I'm holding the I Ching. Back in this day, So write and read. So many more people have the power to document their, and as a community and as a leader in a way of this community, that's what I want to see you guys doing. And I see you doing it already. And I'm so fucking grateful. I'm so happy. And I'm so proud of everyone in here who is, documenting and digging deeper and, and unraveling this idea that you have to be anything other than what you are, and that there's anything more important than what's going on with inside you. Because if you are it's going to be really challenging for you to be engaged in the world in a helpful way, in a compassionate way, if you're not aware of what's going on inside here. And so, you know, there's still so much that's coming online in terms of this community. Um, Anna, you might have to update your app. But if you go to, so you can go to my chart. So this is my chart right there. See that? And then I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Over there, like kind of where my thumb is at. Let me turn my red light filter off. That might help. Wonder if I can do like a actual screen share. You guys see by my thumb, it says transits right there. So you're going to click transit. It's going to bring you here. Then you scroll down a little and you're going to, there's the new tabs right there. One says upcoming events and the other says calendar. You can look at upcoming events and it'll keep you here, overlay with the transit. Looks like you found it. That's awesome. And then if you go to calendar, it will take you to another page, which eventually this calendar is going to be like a fucking journal. You can log, I was feeling this way this time. I was feeling super great. Oh, it makes sense. This is why that way. You might be able to want to look back and be like, why was I feeling like shit? And now this gate changed. Moon went into gate 4. That makes a lot of sense. So we can start to put the pieces together, right? Because 2027, when these rave children are born, I don't think they're really going to be looking at human design for the answers. They're going to be looking at the people who have embodied the knowledge of human design in their cells for the answers and for the guidance. And in a lot of ways, they're going to be guiding us. But, my hope is that when these, rave children and when the children who are going to inherit the world come to inherit it, that I'm not going to give them a book. I'm going to give them an uncle. I'm going to give them an example of what it could look like. Not have to do all this deconditioning that we're doing. But there's a saying that it's easier to raise strong children than to fix broken men. And there are a lot of broken men and women in the world, in the sense that their spirit has been broken. Not that they are inherently broken, but that their will to live has been broken, or their spirit, their identity, their true self, they've been disconnected from that. And we can heal that. I know we can. I am engaged in a process of healing that for other men and sisters. But it's so important that we know that we have an opportunity with every generation. Let them be themselves and to invite them into their authenticity while maintaining a standard of like, look, you may have been this like super powerful godly being, wherever you just came from, but this is Earth. Gravity exists on Earth, right? Tension and suffering exists on Earth. And so whereas we would try to protect them from these things, rather than trying to protect them and keep them safe, we can remind them that they are safe. And I'm gonna end this and start the stage. I'm feeling like I might go on TikTok and get a bunch of new friends for all of us, which could be fun. But I'll end this transit talk here with a quote that I've been sharing quite a bit here is, the bird in the tree is singing, it's relaxed, it's not afraid of falling and hitting the ground. But it's not fearless because it believes that the branch is strong. It knows that if the branch breaks, that its wings are strong and that it can just start flapping its wings and fly away and land on another branch. And so, it's kind of the motto here, like evolve, awaken, cultivate the strength within yourself, cultivate the strength of your own wings, so that when the branch breaks in the storm, because the branch will always break in the storm, or inevitably will break in the storm, that you have your wings. You have not invested your safety into the branch, but you've invested your safety and your energy and your time into your own wings. So take that however you like. I'm going to pop over to TikTok right now and just kind of go into my little manic self. Um, and I'll just restart the stage here just so it has a different topic, and we can end the recording, and I'll put this recording up on transit reflections or transit updates. So thank you guys so much. Yeah, love you guys. I'll see you in a little bit. Mahalo.